Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Wisdom in the Best Books and Films, where you can get bite-sized bits of wisdom from your favorite books and films. I'm Jake Bear, I'm your host, and this week I'm excited to show you all that I am super nerdy, because this week we're going to be talking about Book 3 of the Dark Elf Trilogy, which was by R.A. Salvatore. This series is a well-known series that was written based on some Dungeons & Dragons characters, one of the probably most famous Dungeons & Dragons characters ever. Drizzt Do'Urden is a dark elf, then that is who this series is about. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about guilt and shame. So, if you're one of the people that thinks those are bad things, this is probably not the episode for you, but if you want to learn why guilt and shame are tools to be used for good, keep listening. If you enjoy the show, as usual, please leave a review and write a comment and share it with all your friends. And if you have any questions, feel free or comments to reach out to me at wisdominthebestbooks@substack.com. So, here is the episode, The Gift of Guilt. It has become common to look at guilt and shame as negative emotions in our culture. Many seek to justify away any feelings of wrongdoing or to run away from those feelings or distract themselves to avoid facing them. I believe these are some of the best tools of the devil in trapping our souls in sin. There are two ways we can make guilt and shame into bad things: by wallowing in our own self-pity and not changing for the better, or by justifying and avoiding. Either way, we are not acting on these positive, albeit unpleasant, feelings that are meant to lead us to improve. In Sojourn, Book 3 of the Dark Elf Trilogy by R.A. Salvatore, Drizzt Do'Urden provides good insight into the balance necessary for guilt or shame to be used to our benefit. Quote, "Does anything in all the world force a heavier weight upon the shoulders than guilt? I have felt the burden often, have carried it over many steps on long roads. Guilt resembles a sword with two edges. On the one hand, it cuts for justice, imposing practical morality upon those who fear it. Guilt, a consequence of conscience. It is what separates the goodly persons from the evil. Given a situation that promises gain, most drow can kill another, kin or otherwise, and walk away carrying no emotional burden at all. The drow assassin might fear retribution, but would shed no tears for his victim. To goodly people, the suffering imposed by conscience will usually far outweigh any external threats. Some would conclude that guilt, conscience, is the primary difference between good and bad people. In this regard, guilt must be considered a positive force. But there is another side to that weighted emotion. Conscience does not always adhere to rational judgment. Guilt is always a self-imposed burden, but it's not always rightly imposed. Rationale is little defense against the weight of guilt. In time, bolstered by the confidence of trusted friends, I came to throw off many of these burdens. Others remained and always shall. I accept that this is inevitable, and use the weight to guide my future steps. This, I believe, is the true purpose of conscience." End quote. Here the drow represent people who do not feel guilt or shame. What is applied to killing here can also be applied to any other sin. The adulterer who feels no guilt might fear retribution from their cheated spouse, but does not feel the need to change their actions because they are not to blame. It was their spouse's fault. Or it wasn't really a bad thing at all because their actions were only natural, and how can nature be bad? This can be applied to even little things. I am not at fault for yelling at my kid because I had a bad day. It isn't my fault that I am not always polite to my spouse because they are just seeing the real unfiltered version of me, and that is what spouses should see, right? Etc. The truth of the matter is, it is always my fault, at least partially. If I allow the guilt or shame to get to my heart and change for the better, often others will follow suit for their own portions of the blame, but that only works if the reason I change is to improve myself, not to fix the other people. A therapist named J. Stringer once said, "When we run from our shame, we legitimize its claims against us." Like Drizzt, we should understand that even in the cases where we are feeling guilt for the wrong reasons, we can use that guilt to guide our future steps. Guilt is a gift. When we ignore it, or when we wallow in it, we do so to our own detriment.